God damn it. What the hell do you think you're doing? Filthy. Disgusting. That's something you don't touch. You serve it. You watch it. But you don't ever hold it. Nathaniel Blake's voice cut like broken glass. He stormed into the room, yanked the baby girl from Maya Williams' arms with a force that made her breath catch. No, please, she just fell asleep. She wouldn't stop crying. I don't care, he barked. You're the maid, not the mother, not anything. The baby screamed the moment she left Maya's chest. It was like something snapped. Her tiny hands clawed at the air, her sobs shrill and panicked. Shh, Lily, shh, it's okay, sweetheart. I'm here, Nathaniel whispered. But the child only cried harder, writhing in his arms, red-faced and gasping. Why won't she stop? Maya stood frozen, heart pounding. I tried everything, she said quietly. She only sleeps if I hold her. That's all. He didn't answer, just stood there with his daughter crying louder by the second. Give her back to me, Maya said, voice low, firm. His jaw tightened. I said give her back. She's scared. You're scaring her. Nathaniel looked down at the child, then at Maya. His eyes were ice, but underneath something else. Confusion, hesitation, and then defeat. He handed Lily back. The baby curled into Maya's chest instantly, like her body remembered safety. The crying stopped in less than 30 seconds. Only a few hiccuping sobs remained as she drifted back into fragile sleep. Maya held her close, sitting back onto the rug, rocking gently, murmuring without thinking. I got you, little one. Nathaniel stood still, silent, watching. That night, no one spoke again, but the house felt colder. Maya laid Lily down gently in her crib hours later. She didn't sleep at all. By morning, Mrs. Delaney found her sitting in the corner of the nursery, eyes wide, hands still trembling. She only sleeps with her, the older woman whispered under her breath, glancing toward the now peaceful baby. Nathaniel said nothing at breakfast. His tie was crooked, his coffee untouched. The second night, Maya tucked Lily in and stepped away. The baby screamed. Mrs. Delaney rushed in. Nathaniel tried. Neither worked. Only when Maya returned, arms outstretched, whispering gently, did Lily quiet. The third night, Nathaniel waited outside the nursery door. He didn't enter. He listened. No crying, only a quiet lullaby, half hummed. He knocked. Maya. She opened the door. I need to speak with you. She stepped outside, closing the door gently behind her. I owe you an apology, Nathaniel said. Silence. For what? Maya asked. Not soft, not angry, just steady. For how I spoke to you. For what I said. It was cruel and wrong. She nodded. Lily knows what's real, she said. She doesn't care about wealth or titles. She just needs warmth. I know. She won't sleep unless she feels safe. I know, he said again. And I don't think she's the only one. Nathaniel looked down. I'm sorry, Maya. A beat of silence. I'm not going to quit, she said. Not because of you, but because she needs me. I hope you stay, he said. For her, Maya repeated. But in her chest, something shook loose. Something she thought had been locked away for good. She didn't trust him, but Lily did. And for now, that was enough. The next morning, Maya Williams moved through the house like a shadow. The dining room table gleamed, polished to perfection. The smell of fresh coffee lingered in the air. But neither Nathaniel Blake nor Mrs. Delaney said a word as Maya passed by with a folded blanket in her arms. Good morning, Maya said calmly, eyes forward. Mrs. Delaney nodded stiffly. Nathaniel looked up from his tablet, his jaw tight, but said nothing. It didn't matter. Maya wasn't expecting kindness. She wasn't here for it. She was here for the baby. Upstairs, in the quiet nursery, Lily was finally sleeping soundly, arms stretched above her head, a soft sigh in her chest. Maya sat beside the crib, not touching, just watching. Like always, like before, the events of the previous night still burned behind her eyes, but she kept her spine straight. That scene, his words, his tone, the way he tore the baby from her arms, those things weren't new to her. Maybe not in volume or sharpness, but in meaning. She'd been told her whole life she wasn't meant to hold, only to serve. But Lily knew different. Lily clung to her like she'd been waiting for Maya her whole life. Maya? It was Rosa, peeking into the nursery. Hey, Maya whispered. She's asleep. Rosa stepped in quietly. She sat on the edge of the chair next to Maya and whispered, I heard what happened last night. I bet the whole house did. He's not used to people, Rosa said. Not since Claire. I'm not here for him. I know, Rosa said softly. But you need to be careful. Men like Nathaniel, when they feel something, they push harder. They don't know how to ask. They just react. Maya's eyes stayed on Lily. She's the only one who didn't look at me like I was dirt. Rosa touched her shoulder. You're not dirt, honey. You're the only reason this house is holding together right now, even if he doesn't see it yet. If you felt touched by Maya's quiet strength, give this video a like and tell us where you're watching from. You might be surprised who else near you is watching too. Later that day, while folding towels in the laundry room, Maya heard Nathaniel's voice on the phone. I told you I'm not interested in dinner meetings right now. A pause. No, Jennifer. I don't care if she's in town. We're not getting back together. Another pause. Then, because I have a daughter who cries through the night unless a stranger holds her, and I can't even look that stranger in the eye because I've treated her like trash. Maya stood frozen behind the half-closed door. Nathaniel's voice dropped to a near whisper. She's not just the help. I see that now. But I don't know how to fix what I said. The door creaked. Maya turned. He saw her. There was a beat of silence. Then he hung up the call without a word. Eavesdropping? He asked, voice stiff. Laundry, Maya replied evenly. He exhaled. You weren't supposed to hear that. No one's ever supposed to hear anything in this house, she said. It's made of silence. He rubbed the back of his neck. I meant what I said. Last night, this morning, I was wrong. You were cruel. I know. And that baby, your baby, she knows who's gentle. He nodded. I'd like to start over, he said. She didn't answer. Instead, Maya went upstairs, rocked Lily in her arms, and hummed the lullaby she hadn't sung in years. That evening, while Maya sewed a torn seam on a couch pillow, Mrs. Delaney approached her. You're not like the others. Maya didn't look up. What others? The ones who come here for the money, or the prestige. They last 2 weeks, maybe 3, then they're gone. But you, she paused, she only sleeps in your arms. She's just a baby. She's not just a baby. She's a mirror, Mrs. Delaney said. And she sees who you are. Maya looked up finally. Who am I then? Mrs. Delaney gave a thin smile. Someone who deserves to stay. The words hit harder than Maya expected. She looked back at the pillow and stitched in silence. 2 days later, as snow fell steadily outside, Nathaniel asked Maya to come to his office. She entered cautiously. The office was clean, clinical modern desk, wall-mounted screens, chrome bookshelves. I want to show you something, he said. On the screen, a wireframe of an app, bright colors, icons, labels, a tab that read, Single Mom Support. What is this? My next project, a digital hub for single mothers, resources, legal aid, childcare options. I started it after Claire left, but the team, most of them are men. They don't understand what's really needed. Maya crossed her arms. And you think I do? He looked at her directly. I think you understand what it's like to be left behind. And I think that makes you the most qualified person in this house. She stared at him for a long moment. Then she said, I'm not a tech expert. I don't need one, he replied. I need someone who knows what it feels like to matter too late. That night, Maya lay awake in her room. The snow kept falling. She remembered her foster homes, the basement in the Bronx, the clients who never said thank you, the men who shouted and the women who looked the other way. And now, here she was being asked not to sweep the floor, but to build something real. She turned toward the crib, where Lily was sleeping in a room just down the hall. For the first time in a long time, Maya let herself feel the possibility of a future. Not one where she escaped, but one where she stayed. For her, and for the little girl who only slept when Maya was near. 3 days later, Maya stood in front of the massive oak door of Nathaniel's study, heart pounding. Come in. His voice called from inside before she could knock. She opened the door slowly. Nathaniel was at his desk, sleeves rolled, his tie undone. The usual sharpness in his posture had softened. Next to his laptop were several printouts, sketches, and sticky notes, most of them in a color she didn't recognize. Then she realized they were hers. He gestured to the seat across from him. I've been reviewing your notes. You think like someone who's been on the other side of the system. I have, she said, taking the seat. I want to implement the anonymous forum feature you suggested, for moms afraid to speak openly. Maya nodded. Good. Some women, especially the younger ones, they'll never raise their hand in public, but they might type if they're alone in the dark and scared. He was quiet for a moment. You know, he said, I built my entire company around solving real problems. Renewable energy, sustainable homes, carbon tracking. And still missed the human ones, Maya said gently. Nathaniel smiled. A small, tired thing. Yeah, turns out, you can't code your way out of loneliness. For a long moment, neither of them spoke. The winter light slanted through the tall window, casting soft lines across the dark desk. Maya studied the papers in front of her, then looked up again. I'll help, she said. But I want to be involved. Not as a consultant or assistant, as a voice. You already are. No, she said firmer. You said you wanted to start over. This is how it begins. You don't just ask for insight when it's convenient. You build from trust. He met her eyes. Deal. Later that evening, Maya stepped into the nursery and found Lily standing in her crib barefoot, cheeks flushed, babbling toward the door as if she'd known Maya was coming. The moment Maya walked in, the little girl reached out both arms. Hi there, Maya whispered, scooping her up. Did you miss me, troublemaker? Lily buried her face in Maya's neck with a tiny sigh. Maya settled with her into the rocking chair by the window. Snow had returned, blanketing the pine trees outside. She rocked slowly, humming the same tune from that first night. Lily was heavier now, sleepier, more at peace. Mrs. Delaney appeared in the doorway minutes later, a steaming mug in hand. You looked like you needed this, she said, offering the tea. Maya smiled. You read minds now? No, just faces. Yours is easier than you think. They sat in silence while Lily dozed off again. You're different, Mrs. Delaney said finally, since you started helping with the app. I'm not just folding laundry anymore. Number your scene. And that's something many of us wait our whole lives for. Maya nodded slowly. I'm still getting used to it. You'll never get used to it, Mrs. Delaney said, but you'll start believing it. That night, as Maya returned to her room, she found something unexpected on her bed. A book, small and cloth, bound. No note, no tag. Just a single blue ribbon tied around it. She opened it. You deserve to be more than someone who survives. Her fingers paused on the handwritten inscription. It wasn't Rosa's handwriting, and it sure as hell wasn't Mrs. Delaney's bride. She closed the book and sat down on the edge of the bed, heart loud in her chest. Over the next week, things shifted in small, nearly invisible ways. Nathaniel started eating breakfast in the dining room again. Not every day, but more than before. When he passed Maya in the hallway, he didn't look through her. He looked at her. Lily grew more attached, reaching for Maya before anyone else, laughing when she entered the room, refusing food unless Maya sat beside her. Maya tried not to read too far into it, until one night, while going over the app features in the study, Nathaniel asked, "What did you want to be when you were younger?" Maya blinked. "You mean before my life started breaking things?" He didn't smile. "I mean it," he said. She looked at her hands. A nurse, then maybe a teacher, then neither. I realized early that the world doesn't hand out jobs to people like me, so I learned to mop floors and stitch buttons. You do more than stitch buttons. Maya raised an eyebrow. That's supposed to be a compliment? Yes. She gave him a small, reluctant smile. And you? She asked. What did you want to be? Nathaniel hesitated. A husband, he said finally. A good one. And a father that didn't feel like a stranger in his own home. Silence filled the room. Maya's voice softened. You're not a stranger to her. Not anymore. He looked down at the table. She laughs when you walk in, Nathaniel. That's not nothing. He exhaled. You call me Nathaniel now. You said we were starting over. He looked up at her, and for the first time since she met him, Maya saw something exposed, unarmored, raw. I'm trying, he said quietly. She nodded. So am I. A few nights later, the generator cut out for 2 hours during a snowstorm. Most of the staff had gone home early due to the weather. It was just Maya, Nathaniel, and Lily in the house. Maya found him in the kitchen, barefoot, shirt sleeves rolled, trying to boil water with a camping stove. "You look ridiculous," she said. "I'm aware." She moved beside him, grabbed the second pot. "Let me." He stepped back. "You always know what to do," he said. "No," she replied. "But I always do something. That's the difference." A pause. She cried less this week. "Because you stopped looking at her like a responsibility," Maya said. "You started holding her like she mattered." Nathaniel nodded slowly. "Thank you, Maya." "For what?" "For not leaving." She looked at him, long and level. "I almost did," she said. "Twice." "What stopped you?" She smiled faintly. "She held on to me. Even when I couldn't hold myself." The wind howled outside, the stove hissed, and in the dim light, something between them steadied, not fragile, not forced, just there, quiet, growing. The snowstorm lasted through the weekend. By Monday morning, the world outside the Blake estate was buried under 2 feet of silence. Even the pine trees looked bent, their shoulders sagging beneath the weight of winter. Inside, the house was unusually warm, fireplaces lit, soft jazz echoing faintly through the hallways. Maya stood in the nursery, swaddling Lily after her morning bath, the baby's cheeks rosy from steam and giggles. "You're getting so big," Maya murmured, tucking the blanket beneath Lily's chin. "Soon you'll be bossing all of us around." Lily cooed in reply, her fingers finding Maya's braid and tugging gently. Downstairs, Nathaniel sat at the breakfast table, stirring his coffee but not drinking it. He glanced up every few seconds toward the staircase, as if waiting for something or someone. "Expecting a call?" Mrs. Delaney asked, setting down a plate of toast. "Number just," thinking. She didn't press. Years working for the Blake family had taught her which silences were meant to be left alone. A few minutes later, Maya entered the room with Lily on her hip. Nathaniel stood up too quickly. "You're here," he said. Maya raised an eyebrow. "You invited me for breakfast. Thought it'd be rude to ignore." He gestured to the seat beside him. "Please." She placed Lily into the high chair already waiting between them, then slid into the seat. For a moment, the three of them sat there like any other family, quiet, comfortable, unremarkable. And for Maya, that was the strangest feeling of all. Lily dropped a spoon. Maya bent to pick it up. When she looked up, Nathaniel was watching her not with intensity, but attention. "What?" she asked. "Nothing," he said, though his expression said otherwise. After breakfast, Nathaniel followed Maya to the nursery. She didn't mind. Lily had fallen asleep mid-play, her tiny arms wrapped around a stuffed bear Maya had sewn back together last week. "She's grown fast," he said, glancing at the crib. "Babies do that when they're safe," Maya replied, gently straightening the blanket. Nathaniel leaned against the doorway, arms crossed. "I've been thinking about expanding the app, adding a section for caretakers, nannies, foster parents, even volunteers, people like you." "I'm not like them," Maya said, not looking up. "Most of them get to go home." He paused. "What if this became home?" She turned slowly. "What are you saying?" "I'm saying," he hesitated, "you've become more than part of the staff. You're part of this place, of Lily's life, of mine." Maya stood straighter. Her voice was even. "Are you offering me a job or a future?" He blinked, caught off guard. "I'm offering a choice, to stay, not because of obligation, but because you belong here." Maya studied him, her gaze sharp. "You can't say things like that without knowing what they mean." "I do," he said quietly, "and I'm not asking for an answer today." She nodded. "Good, because I don't have one." Later that evening, Maya found herself standing alone in the library. The fire crackled low, casting long shadows across the bookshelves. She wandered between them, fingertips brushing the spines, stopping only when she found the small cloth-bound book from her bed, the one with the ribbon. She opened it again. "You deserve to be more than someone who survives." The handwriting was unmistakably Nathaniel's. She closed the book, held it to her chest. Behind her, the door creaked open. "You left this," his voice said. "I know," Maya replied without turning. He stepped inside, his tone careful. "I wrote it before I was ready to say it out loud. And now? Now I'm trying to be a man who says the right things before it's too late." Maya turned to face him. "I've been in too many rooms where people said the right things, but none of them stayed." "I will," he said. "If you'll let me." She didn't smile, but something in her shoulders softened. Then stay, she said. But not just when the fire is lit and the room is quiet. Stay when it's cold, when it's messy. When Lily's teething and I'm tired, and your schedule is a mess. I will, he said again. Maya nodded once. That's a start. That night, Lily woke up crying around 2 a.m. Maya was already halfway to the nursery when she heard it, but when she opened the door, Nathaniel was there, cradling Lily in his arms, gently bouncing her, whispering a lullaby Maya had sung 100 times. He didn't see her at first, but when he did, he didn't flinch. He just kept rocking. She wouldn't settle at first, he whispered. Then I remembered your hum. The rhythm. I tried it. I think it worked. Maya walked in slowly, standing beside him. You're doing fine, she said. He looked down at the baby, then back at Maya. So are you. And in the quiet nursery, beneath the sound of the wind outside and the soft breath of a child at peace, Maya realized something terrifying and beautiful. She was no longer waiting to be seen. She already was. Tea started with laughter. Not loud, not forced, just soft, surprised, and utterly unplanned. Maya was carrying Lily through the hallway when the little girl sneezed so dramatically it startled a nearby cat statue into tipping over. The ancient thing wobbled, teetered, and fell with a thud onto the carpet. Lily burst out laughing, and Maya, after a stunned beat, joined her. Mrs. Delaney poked her head out from the kitchen, eyebrows raised. Was that what I think it was? I think the lion's dead, Maya said, deadpan. The housekeeper's mouth twitched. Well, at least she's happy. She's been smiling more lately, Maya said. Sleeping better too. She's sensing the shift, Mrs. Delaney replied. Babies know, more than most grown-ups do. Maya looked down at Lily, who was now trying to grab her necklace. Yeah, she murmured. She knows. Later that day, Nathaniel knocked on the nursery door. Maya looked up from where she sat on the floor, stacking colored blocks with Lily. You're knocking now? I'm learning, he said, slowly. She smiled faintly. Come in. He stepped inside with 2 mugs in hand. I made coffee. You made coffee, Maya repeated, skeptical. It might be terrible. She took the mug. If I die, Rosa will avenge me. He smiled, settled down beside her, legs folded like it was the most natural thing in the world. Lily beamed and crawled right into his lap. Every time I see her do that, Maya said quietly. I wonder how long she waited to feel that safe. He looked at the baby, now content and tugging at his sleeve. I think I waited just as long. They sat there for a while, all 3 of them, the silence not awkward but warm. The blocks toppled, Lily clapped, and for a moment, the world outside didn't matter. Until it did. It was just after sunset when the phone rang sharp, shrill, demanding. Nathaniel answered in the hallway. Maya could hear his voice, low but tense, though she couldn't make out the words. When he returned, his face was different, closed, controlled. What is it? She asked. He hesitated. Claire's coming. Maya's fingers froze mid-fold over Lily's blanket. Claire? She wants to see Lily. Maya's voice dropped. Why now? I don't know, he said. She didn't say much, just that she's in town and wants to talk. When? Tomorrow. Maya nodded once stiffly. Right. Nathaniel stepped closer. Maya. No, she said. It's fine. She's Lily's mother. I didn't say that to hurt you. You didn't have to, she replied. It's just the truth. That night, Maya didn't sleep. She lay awake staring at the ceiling, the baby monitor beside her bed humming softly. Every so often, she'd glance at it, as if expecting Lily to disappear. In the morning, she dressed Lily in a soft yellow sweater, the one with the embroidered sun on the pocket. She brushed her tiny curls and hummed as she worked, but her fingers shook. Nathaniel found her in the nursery, silent and still, holding Lily longer than usual. You okay? He asked. She looks like her, Maya said. Same eyes. She's not her, he said. No, Maya replied. She's better. The front doorbell rang. Claire Morgan stood in the entryway like a woman out of a magazine, tall, poised, wrapped in a caramel-colored coat, curls perfectly arranged. Her smile was hesitant, almost shy. Hi, she said softly. Nathaniel nodded. Claire. Maya didn't speak. Claire's eyes drifted toward Lily, who clung tightly to Maya's shirt. She's gotten big, Claire whispered. May I? Maya hesitated. Nathaniel stepped forward. Let me. He took Lily carefully from Maya's arms. The baby whimpered, not quite crying, but clearly uneasy. Claire opened her arms, and Nathaniel handed the child over. For a brief moment, it looked like something from a picture, a mother and child, soft light, familiar touch. But then Lily began to cry. A soft whimper at first, then louder, more panicked. Claire tried to soothe her. Shh, it's okay, baby girl. Mommy's here. Lily screamed. Nathaniel stepped in, but it was Maya who moved first. She reached out instinctively. Lily. The baby reached back, trembling, tears running down her face. Maya took her, held her close. Within seconds, the cries quieted into hiccups. Claire stood frozen. She doesn't know me, she said, voice breaking. She knows who stayed, Maya said softly. Nathaniel didn't say anything. Claire turned to him. I shouldn't have come. You wanted to see her. I thought it would feel different, Claire said. But you already have a family. She looked at Maya. I didn't expect you. I didn't expect me either, Maya said, not unkindly. Claire's shoulders dropped. I don't know where I belong anymore. Nathaniel's voice was calm. That's not something I can answer for you. Claire nodded. I'll go. She walked toward the door, then paused. She's happy, Claire said. I didn't think I'd be relieved by that, but I am. And then she was gone. The silence in the foyer was heavy. Maya stood there, Lily still clinging to her. I didn't mean to say that, she whispered. About knowing who stayed. It needed to be said, Nathaniel replied. He stepped closer. She doesn't just need love. She needs consistency. You've been her whole world. Maya looked down at the little girl in her arms. I'm afraid I don't know how to be a mother, she said. Neither do I, he admitted. But maybe we're learning together. Maya glanced up at him. And what are we to each other, Nathaniel? His answer was quiet, firm. We're the people who didn't run. And in that moment, standing in the quiet warmth of the entryway, holding a child who had stopped crying, Maya understood that she wasn't a visitor anymore. She was home. The following morning began with golden sunlight pouring through the frosted windows of the nursery, casting soft halos around the edges of the crib. Lily was still asleep, curled on her side, one chubby fist tucked beneath her cheek, the yellow sweater Maya had chosen yesterday still warm from the night. Maya sat quietly beside her, knees pulled to her chest on the rocking chair, coffee in hand, but it had long gone cold. Downstairs, the house moved with a quiet rhythm. Rosa was humming in the kitchen. Somewhere, Mrs. Delaney was organizing linens like she always did on Thursdays. Nathaniel hadn't come down yet. Or maybe he had, and Maya simply didn't hear. She hadn't left the nursery since Claire walked out that door the day before. She hadn't been able to. Her chest still felt too full, too unsure. Everything Claire had brought with her questions, memories, silence. It still lingered in the corners of the room, like perfume that didn't belong. She brushed a curl off Lily's forehead and whispered, You okay, sunshine? Lily shifted, made a soft noise, then returned to sleep. Maya closed her eyes. The silence held. Then a quiet knock on the nursery door. Yeah, she said. Nathaniel stepped in, holding 2 fresh mugs of coffee. This one's not poison, he said. That's a shame, Maya replied. Might have needed it. He offered her the mug. She took it but didn't drink right away. He sat on the rug, arms resting on his knees, like he had nowhere more important to be in the world. You didn't sleep, he said. I was afraid I'd wake up and she'd be gone. Oh. Nathaniel looked toward the crib. She's not. I know, but my body doesn't. A pause. Then, yesterday what you said to Claire, about who stayed. Maya shifted. I shouldn't have said it in front of Lily. You were right, Nathaniel said. That doesn't mean it didn't hurt. She didn't come back to take her, he said. She came back to see if she still fit, and she realized she didn't. Maya looked down at the rim of her cup. You okay, he asked. I don't know, but I'm still here. That counts for a lot. She looked at him now, fully. His hair was a little tousled, like he hadn't even glanced in a mirror. His shirt was wrinkled. His eyes were soft. You've changed, she said. He blinked. How so? You used to stand like you owned the room. Now you sit like you want to belong in it. Nathaniel exhaled a small